impaired speech. I checked the clock again. 11 a.m. Glowing in the bold red. One more hour. Then it's the weekend. The phone rings, and the screen flashes a name. Stephen Price. Local number. 911, what's your emergency? I answered. Silence. 911, what's your emergency? A woman's voice breaks in. Slurred, hesitant, like she's repeating it back to me, unsure. I sit up straighter. Hello, man. You've reached emergency services. Are you hurt? Hurt? She mumbles again, uncertain. Yes. Are you bleeding? Is there any injury? Bleeding? She echoes. It sounds wrong. Okay. I'm going to dispatch officers and paramedics to your location. Can you tell me where you are? A pause. Then, from the same line, a different voice. A man's, deep and distorted. Sir, are you injured as well? Injured, the woman slurs again. Alright, stay on the line with me until help arrives. Click. They hang up. The rest of the shift is quiet. A few routines, nothing like that one. At noon, I clock out. I barely think of it again. Until the news. That evening, a breaking report flashes across the screen. One officer and 2 paramedics have gone missing after responding to a distress call at Twin Hollows Peak. The call came in from the cell phone of Mr. Stephen Price, who has also not been found. Unexpected dinner guest. About 7 years ago, I got an invitation to attend my cousin's dinner party. I have never seen my cousin before and only spoke to him on the phone. I was surprised that his family unexpectedly invited me after all these years. The invitation had an uncharted address that the GPS was unfamiliar with. I used a map and pinned its location. As I'm driving, I tend to notice how far I ventured off from civilization. Trees after trees and farms after farms. Where the fuck am I going? I finally found a similar address that might be it. Approaching the house, I noticed how dull and dreary it looks. It's completely engulfed with leaves and branches. This can't be it, I said to myself. As soon as I entered the rocky driveway, my aunt and uncle came out to greet me. They seemed excited and welcoming. Walking into the house, I asked where my cousin was. Answering immediately, he went on a few errands to run. He should be back later. We went the whole couple hours talking about my mother and family. My aunt made delicious homemade pot roast, and I finished it off in a couple minutes. After dinner, we played an enduring game of Uno. It was surprisingly fun and competitive. When we finished Uno, it was almost dark, and still no sign of my cousin. Regardless, I had to leave. It was almost dark, and I would have had trouble getting out of this dreadful place. My GPS was ineffective, so I asked my aunt and uncle the most efficient way onto the highway. They gave me a puzzled look. I thought you were staying the night. I told them I couldn't. I had to work tomorrow and couldn't afford to miss another day. It's much better if you leave tomorrow morning. Trust me, you'll get lost. I shrugged it off and told them not to worry. I'm an adept navigator. I could get out of the Sahara Desert. Looking aggravated. They strongly advised me to stay the night for my own sake. At this point, I was getting pissed and irritable. I sighed, fine, I'll stay the night, but I have to get up early for work. Both of them seemed strangely ecstatic that I was staying the night. As soon as they went to go get my bed sheets and pillows, I ran out of the door into my car. It took me a while, but I found my way out of this depressing place. I got home an hour later than I expected. It was 11, and I didn't hear my parents wake up. Climbing my fence and entering the back door, I noticed the kitchen lights were on. As soon as I took my first step into the door, I see my mom sitting there looking impatient. "Where were you?" she asked. "I was at Aunt Deborah's. You knew this. Then why did she call saying you never arrived?" Till this day, I never knew who I visited. I witnessed a woman being kidnapped on the highway and ended up saving her life. Saturday morning, I was driving to work on the highway. I was in the middle lane and going quite fast because I was running a bit late. I nearly panicked when I noticed a car rapidly approaching from behind my left side mirror. It was a black Honda Civic. I wondered who was behind the wheel and took a careful look at the car. It was still dark outside, but I could see the driver looking at me as he passed. Then, I noticed someone else in the back seat. It was a young woman. She seemed to be hitting the rear window. I thought someone was playing a prank on me, but when I saw the driver push the woman down from where she was hitting the window and swerve the car violently, I realized something was very wrong. That woman was asking for help. I sped up a bit and got behind them to follow. I saw the driver repeatedly swing his arm towards the back seat as if he was punching her. The woman's arms were flailing inside the car. I was witnessing a kidnapping right before my eyes. Just then, the brake lights in the car in the front lit up and it started to slow down. The driver had realized that I had saw what was going on, that I was following him. As much as I wanted to save the woman, I didn't know if the man was armed. Still, I took the next exit, but didn't fully leave the highway. I waited for the car to pass in front of me again, then cut across the grass back onto the road and sped up to catch them. I was on the phone with 911 at this point. I caught up to them again, going nearly 150 kilometers per hour. But the man noticed me again before I could get close. I tried to pass him, but he swerved in front of me, forcing me to stop. Then, he got out of his car. He had something in his hand and started running towards my car. Panicked, I threw the car in reverse and backed up until he stopped chasing me. Then I quickly shifted back into drive and sped up past him before he could return to his car. The 911 operator told me that a state trooper was ahead of us and asked me to keep going until I reached them. The man was still chasing me and our speed was insane. This time we were going around 180 kilometers per hour. When I saw the flashing red and blue lights in my rearview mirror, I felt like a mountain had been lifted off my chest. I was in front, the man in the middle, and the police car behind him. The man couldn't maneuver and soon had to pull over onto the grass. I stopped in front of him, but left 2 car lengths between us because I still didn't know what might happen. Luckily, the officer had his gun drawn, and the man got out of the car with his hands up. I got out too and watched everything unfold. The man was forced onto the ground and handcuffed. Soon, another police car arrived, another officer got involved and helped the woman out of the back seat. She had been badly beaten, was in tears, but overjoyed to be rescued. She kept turning to me, thanking me for saving her life. The driver turned out to be her ex-boyfriend. He had come to her house, and then when she refused to talk to him, he attacked her and forced her into the car. Because the car had child locks, she couldn't get out. But if I or someone else hadn't seen her silent cries for help through that rear window, she might have never been saved.